Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona. The big one is out. Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Next Gen Cup Thursday Night Series. Tonight, we're at the virtual Monster Mile 65 at Dover International Speedway. We've got 65 laps, fixed setups, 50% fuel, one set of tires behind the wall, and no fast repairs. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, my name's James East, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. And just a short while, we will be joined as well by professional commentator and world-famous Australian Gareth McAllister. Going to be great to have him up in the booth here shortly, as right now we take a look and see what's going on qualifying. It looks like Justin McMahon puts it on the top spot with a 23.18. Let's check in on our other drivers and see who's making their way out. We've got Wesley Whitfield in the number 07 machine. He's making his way out for some qualifying runs. Gonna be interesting to see. Only 65 laps, and with this limited fuel amount, it's gonna be an interesting strategy on who can survive and who can bring it home till the end. And as we're getting here as well, thank you as well to Shoney's for coming on board as a title sponsor. Always great seeing those guys supporting their local sim racers. As we wait for about, looks like 7-8 drivers to make their way out to qualifying. Gonna see who's able to make something happen here as we watch Whitfield make his way around that 07 machine. Not a lot of time left in qualifying, as it looks like Whitfield, we have a bit of a blink there with the camera. There we go, getting camera back on Wesley in the 07 machine. Not a lot of time left. We got about 2 minutes left before qualifying wraps up. I'm going to be interested to see here, ladies and gentlemen, how the strategy is going to play out. Who's going to play it safe? Who's going to push hard early on? Now, in weeks prior, these races have been fairly clean and not quite mired with caution, but Dover is going to be a little bit interesting. A track known for chewing up bodywork and spitting it out. As you can notice through pretty much all the turns already, drivers making their appearance with that outside wall in practice. Going to be very intriguing to see what happens. Jennings in the number 95 machine completes his qualifying. He'll be settling in for 11th. We've still got Randall Barnett, Eddie Rivers, Daniel Wilkerson, Doug Soames, Leander Johnson, Mike Leftwich, all not putting down qualifying times yet. So not quite sure what we're going to see out of the guys and when they're going to try and make something happen here. As it stands, only 12 drivers have put down times thus far. Not a lot of drivers opting for qualifying. Looks like 5 drivers maybe starting from pit road today, going to try and play it safe and then start towards the back. Not sure that's how it's going to work for the guys. Is right now the time's fairly close, but Justin McMahon, he was a full 10th faster than Christopher Leftwich in that number 13 machine. So it's gonna be this is gonna be interesting. Some of these drivers have great short run pace. Some guys known more for their long run speed. I don't know what's gonna happen here tonight, especially that fuel allotment. And again, no fast repairs. If it's your first time viewer here for the Doghouse Racing League, what that means is these drivers do not have a get out of jail free card. So if they find themselves meeting that outside wall with force, they're going to be in a little bit of trouble and having to repair that the old-fashioned way. All right, and I'm just getting word we're getting joined by Gareth McAllister. Gareth, you ready for tonight's main event?
I'm really excited for it, James. It's going to be good.
All right, let's run through the grid very quickly here. We got Justin McMahon starting the number 1 spot. Christopher Leftwich starting 2nd. Wesley Whitfield starts 3rd. Andrew Pratt starting 4th. Michael Simia starting 5th. Teddy Wisniewski starting 6th. Andrew St. Cyr starting 7th. Doug Turner starts 8th. Christopher Simmons starts 9th. Kason Owens starting 10th. Jonathan Jennings 11th on the grid. Eric Peck starting 12th here tonight. Cycle it back just one time. We got Randall Barnett starting 13th. Eddie Rivers 14th on the grid. Daniel Wilkerson starts 15th. Doug Soames starting 16th. Leander Johnson starts 17th. And Mike Leftwich will round out the 18-card field here tonight. Now, Gareth, it's your first time calling the action at the Next Gen Thursday night series. What do you think coming out? Do you think the smaller grids are going to help out these drivers, or do you think we're going to see a little bit of cautions early on tonight?
Well, Dover's pretty notorious for some cautions, so I'm not sure what we're going to see, but hoping it stays clean for the most part, and it should be a really good race. There's quite a few drivers turning out tonight, so yeah, look forward to a good one.
Yeah, I think 18 drivers might be that sweet spot in tonight's race. Not a full 43-car grid, and more than 10 drivers, so just the perfect amount to really cycle things around and kind of keep things interesting. So I'm intrigued. I'm hoping for some long green flag runs tonight. It's kind of the norm, but we've seen things happen before where it just takes a little bit of shenanigans to throw a wrench in things. As we get ready to send them off of pit road, it's going to be Justin McMahon and Christopher Leftwich, and look at that field make their way out tonight.
Yeah, we got a lot of cars starting their engines up and getting underway here. Yeah, it should be a really good race.
Yeah, now
as they all catch up to the pace car. Yeah.
Sorry, Garrett, didn't mean to step on. Yeah, we've got Leftwich and McMahon on the front row. Leftwich and the number 13, McMahon and number 20, both in Chevrolets. Our fastest qualifying Ford was Andrew Pratt. He'll be starting, I believe, 3rd here tonight. And then we've also got the fastest Toyota by Teddy Wisniewski. He's starting 5th, and 6th in the number 26 machine. I'm going to be very interested. These guys were clicking off very fast laps in qualifying, so as this thing goes green, should only be a 30-minute race. As here we go, Garrett, the pace car makes its way down pit road, and we get ready to start here tonight at Dover.
And they're making way. Green flag is out. And there we go, we're underway.
Looks like Justin McMahon, Christopher Leftwich having a great start. Wesley Whitfield holds on in 3rd place in 07 machine. Michael Simia looks like he's got one spot moving up to 4th. Right now it's a Chevrolet-dominated top 3 with McMahon, Leftwich, and Whitfield. As Simia trying to hold on to the 4th place, he's edged out Teddy Wisniewski, and things are looking good for the guys here today. An early start. As we pan the camera back up front to Justin McMahon and Christopher Leftwich, they were a fair amount faster than the rest of the field. But I'm curious to see, is the short run going to be important? Are we going to see drivers trying to make moves early on? Or are we going to be making some changes here? As right now, everybody's making some big moves. Let's see what's going to happen here. Right now, it's Michael Simia puts down the fastest lap of the race at 23.55. And we are trying to update some cameras here. Let's see if we can switch over to TV3, take a wider shot of your race leaders. And look at that, just as we do. Carnage, Christopher Leftwich, Wesley Whitfield, and Doug Turner involved in that one, but they're able to hold on to it. No, around he goes.
Just as I was about to say what an amazing save it was. Oh, that's so unfortunate to see.
Yeah, Leftwich just kind of getting beat around by everybody there. Let's take a quick look at our replay. As something goes, he goes down to the pit road, bounces back up, has a massive save, and it almost looked like he had it all day, all night, but trying to see what happened here. Ooh, the number 75 machine comes down, and around goes Leftwich. That was just about the save of the night there, Gareth.
It was honestly looking, it was just looking amazing. But then the Camaro in front of him unfortunately tagged the wall, and the 75 car thought that he would come down and make the move, not realizing, I don't think, that the save had happened, and unfortunately just collecting him on the inside there.
Yeah, spot on. That was Andrew Pratt in the number 75 Ford Mustang. He was involved, and it looks like some drivers coming down pit road. Justin McMahon and Teddy Wisniewski ought to stay out, as well as Doug Turner, but the rest of the field coming down pit road. Now, Garrett, do you think they're trying to get set up for maybe more fuel later on? Or, I mean, we've only had 5 laps. Surely it's not a tire wear issue they're coming in for.
No, I can't imagine it would be. I would have thought track position would be the major factor here, but I mean, I guess it's if they're already a little bit of way down the field, or if they think that they can maybe stretch it out a bit longer than the others, or just do something different to really see if they can change their own strategy a bit. Because if we've got a lot of caution flags coming in, it's really going to slow down the amount that these drivers use their fuel. So they might be able to work with something different there.
Yeah, I would agree. They've only got about 50% fuel allotted to these drivers today, so I think they can go quite a way. So I'm not entirely sure just how far they're going to be able to go on a tank of gas here, or what may be going on. And while we have a bit of a brief break in the action, say that 6 times fast, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank everybody tuning in tonight. Let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on, as we make our way out again under eye-pacing conditions. Thank you all so much for tuning in. These shows would be not quite as much fun with our viewers from across the world, so thank you sincerely for everybody that tunes in and week out, giving shout-outs to their drivers, because a lot of these drivers will have the broadcast pulled up on a separate screen or maybe a phone, and those that don't will go back and watch the broadcast replay. And I can guarantee you the drivers notice for sure who is cheering them on week in and week out. Now, Gareth, you're a racer yourself here on the iRacing platform. I mean, is that true to stand? Are you one of the drivers that goes back and watches your own broadcast replays?
I absolutely love it, and it's really helpful as well, because it really gets you into quite like learning just how your cars actually, just how the people are really activating, just how the people are really like moving around you, and you can see just how your lines actually kind of look proper, because when you're in the car you can get sort of a feel of how well you're doing, but it's only when you watch it from a different perspective that you can really gauge just how far off a certain point in the corner that you want it to be, and also it's just really nice to look at it. You can show your friends and family, and it's always good to go back and watch the replays afterwards.
So entertaining and a training tool. Excellent. Glad to see the racers enjoy it as well. Pace car is in, and away goes Justin McMahon. Teddy Wisniewski on the front row. And it looks like Doug Turner trying to make some moves in that number 41 machine. He's on the inside line, so right next to the red, white, and blue number 26 Toyota, Teddy Wisniewski. And remember, the top 5 drivers right now have not come down pit road yet. It looks like most drivers that came in a lap 5 only took fuel, but it's extremely important to remember these drivers only have one set of tires available. So if you come in and take tires on that opening pit stop, you're going to have a long night trying to tire save here at Dover. Pan the camera back to your race leaders, Justin McMahon, Teddy Wisniewski, Doug Turner falling behind ever so slightly. He's about a half second back off the top 2 drivers. I don't think McMahon and Wisniewski are too worried about tire wear here with this very short 65-lap race. Fastest lap of the race, only 24 seconds, a low 23 as you go on board with Wisniewski. Now, Gareth, what's he going to try and do here to try and save that front tires?
You guys actually in the back, just post caution, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to interrupt that as it looks like Owen, Simia, and Leftwich may be involved in that one.
That was a nasty-looking wreck from what I saw in the background of the shot there.
Yeah, taking a look at our instant replay here, we're focused on Case and Owen, number 39 machine. Oh, who is that just gets a little bit loose? That's the number 1 of Michael Simia. As the rest of the field comes barreling by, ARCA brakes in full effect and collecting the number 60 of Mike Leftwich.
Oh, that's very unfortunate positioning for Leftwich there.
Yeah, just nowhere to go. Looks like he came in still wide open and just absolutely clobbered some drivers that were already crashed there. So that will be our second caution of the night. And while we have the opportunity, we're going to run a very quick commercial break and give a shout out to our sponsor tonight, Shoney's of West Virginia. We've got Bell, West Virginia. We've got Flatwoods, Princeton, Charleston, Lewisburg, Summersville, all coming out in force. If you're looking to support a company that supports sim racing, please check out Shoney's, your local Shoney's in West Virginia. It is so imperative for our friends to come on board and support those that are supporting us. Without Shoney's, this would be not likely to happen. Again, Doghouse Racing League Thursday Night Cup Series, proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's, open daily for breakfast, lunch, dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. So, Gareth, we've seen 2 early cautions tonight. What do you think's going on? Are drivers not having the patience they need, or is it just such a tough track to make something happen on?
I actually think it's a really tight grid. A lot of these drivers are putting down some quality lap times. and some of them are just getting, I think, a little overzealous with the throttle, just hitting it a little bit too early or a bit faster than some of the competitors around them, and it's just seeming like quite a few unfortunate events taking place.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I can't tell if it's a lack of patience or just a tough track, and or like you said, everybody putting down almost identical lap times. Not a lot of room here, but look at this. Justin McMahon, Teddy Wisniewski, Doug Turner. The top 3 drivers valuing track position more so than fuel mileage at this point. Now, we were talking about it before the caution flag came out, Gareth. What do you think these drivers are going to try and do to keep that front right from really burning up here at Dover?
I'm not really sure, but probably they're going to try and stick it into the you see the shady area where all the asphalt's been laid down. That'll have a lot of grip there and less tire wear to for the rubber to really burn off, because rubber's gotten laid down on the track and it really makes them stick, and so they should be able to hold onto their tires for quite a while, I'd imagine.
Now, Gareth, we talk about tire wear, and I know you race Arkham Menards cars a lot. Are you having to be a little bit more careful with the throttle inputs, the braking inputs? What is it that allows these guys to not burn up that tire as far as behind the wheel?
Look, I would say probably not using excessive braking for sure. You typically tend to find when you brake a little bit too much, the wheel actually sort of locks up, and you get a little bit of scuffs on your tires. The rubber doesn't quite, it doesn't like it basically. So, yeah, I think gradual braking, and these guys have, I think, far better than I could ever do it. That's for sure. They seem to be managing just fine.
Got it. So easy inputs and being very concise sounds like the way to do it each and every time. Let's see as they get ready to go back out here at Dover. Are we going to see that long green flag run that your top 3 drivers are expecting? Now, these 3 drivers don't maybe want to see too long of a run, but they may be able to stretch it out here on fuel despite the limited capacity in the gas tanks. If we keep having these short green flag runs spattered by cautions, I think it's anybody's guess just how long they'll be able to go, and you may see something wild here and they'll be able to stretch it out on a full tank. Pace car is in, and let's get ready to go for our next restart. Justin McMahon, Teddy Wisniewski on the front row with a huge launch.
Yeah, that launch was absolutely epic. Didn't even have any pushing behind him, just set the ball rolling straight away. Really got out in the lead as we got quite a good battle shaping up for 3rd place already.
Yeah, that's Eric Peck, Doug Turner. Peck is up 9 positions so far tonight. He came in a lap 5. Looks like he only took fuel. As right behind Peck, now you've got Turner and Simon also battling for that top 5 spot. Now everybody's out here battling for points, and the great thing around the Doghouse Racing League is a bunch of good friends just coming out for clean racing every chance they get on a Thursday night. So it doesn't matter if you're battling for first, such as McMahon and Wisniewski, or the battle for 5th between Peck, Turner, and Simon. You will find some great racing to be had all across the circuit here tonight, as we're going to pan the camera back to Wesley Whitfield. He's got Christopher Simon right behind him, and now Simon and Jennings are going to have a battle in the 6th place spot.
Yeah, that UPS sponsored machine is absolutely making moves. He seems to be making his way through the field.
Oh, who's that? That's Doug Turner, the number 41 machine. Has a massive moment, able to hold on to it, no caution, and he will now be showing in 13th place. Oh my, McAllister Dover chewing him up here tonight. Now, we expected this to be about a 30-minute race, but I don't think that's going to be the case, my friend.
Monster Mile, Miles the Monster, where the Monster Mile at Dover. He's chewing him up and he's spitting him out.
Yeah, it's Miles up there up in the grandstands watching the sacrifices to the bodywork gods, as now Doug Turner is going to come down pit road and try and get some repairs on that number 41 machine. I'm assuming at the very least he'll probably take tires at this point after the massive lockup, as we are watching the battle for the lead between Justin McMahon and Teddy Wisniewski. Eric Peck Peck, in third place, hanging out about 4/10 back. But it looks like Peck trying to find some more time here, and he may be happy just following along, keeping the tires underneath him, as he knows the 2 drivers in front of him should have to pit if we have a green flag run, because Peck came in on lap 5, while McMahon and Wisniewski opted to stay out here today.
Yeah, you never know. Those 5 laps could definitely make the difference. I've had that happen quite a few times in my own racing career, so as long as he keeps sticking with the leaders out front, I think he might actually have the strategy here.
Yeah, that may work out well for him.
I think it's quite interesting seeing the line that these guys are running. They're not quite sticking to the bottom the whole time. They're not sort of sticking to the mid. They're kind of changing their line mid-corner, which is definitely something I didn't expect to see coming into tonight's race.
Yeah, at mile-and-a-halfers and super speedways, normally you see drivers kind of sticking to one line. Not sure if they're searching for traction out here at Dover or just trying to get in some sort of groove, and could very well be that they're just holding on for dear life, as we've seen drivers after iRacing push the update to these next-gen Cup cars. From what the drivers were saying, it's a lot more snap loose. What that means to our viewers at home, you come out of the corners trying to give it as much gas as you possibly can, and that rear end has a tendency to step out and try and spit you into the wall. So it's been a bit of a learning curve as iRacing gets more and more data from the real-life NASCAR teams that's being translated into sim, and maybe livening these cars up a little bit more.
Yeah, this battle for the lead is really heating up right now. All 3 cars are under a blanket, as they would say. They're getting very, very close together. Peck and Whitfield are really... Oh, where is Whitfield? Whitfield's a bit further back.
Yeah, right now it's McMahon, Wisniewski, and Peck running 1, 2, 3, about less than a quarter of a second separating each driver this time. Wesley Whitfield, he's running in 4th in the 07 machine. He's about 4.2 back from this battle for the lead. Not quite to the halfway mark here tonight. I'm curious to see, is McMahon and Wisniewski going to start battling for the lead? And is Eric Peck just happy of following along these top 2 drivers, trying to keep their momentum up and maybe trying to force the issue and get those 2 drivers down at pit road a little bit sooner here tonight?
Lap traffic doing a very good job of staying down on the bottom, letting the leaders pass, no problems.
Yeah, here at Dover, not a lot of room to get out of the way. You know, big tracks such as Talladega, Daytona, you got a whole lot of real estate to try and make your way around. But at Dover, just a mile-long raceway, everybody's out here trying to stick to the line that they know and they're comfortable with without getting into the marbles on the top side of the track. It just takes one little misjudgment from either lead lap cars or drivers about to go a lap down, and you can find yourself ruining a friend's race rather quickly.
Yeah, so we see Wisniewski trying very hard to just choose a different line to McMahon. Just trying to find a very different line to see if he can get any extra speed out of that car where the air isn't quite disturbed by the car in front, so he can get some clean air and make his way up there.
Yeah, that's a great point. I wonder how much that's going to matter to these drivers, having that clean air on their car, able to pick their own lines, such as Justin McMahon out front. Wisniewski does not have that luxury, neither does Eric Peck, and I'm wondering if that's what Eric Peck is doing as part of his strategy, hanging back just enough, get that clean air where the car's not tightening up, and trying to push towards that outside wall, and maybe just conserve tires. Again, nobody inside the top 4, I believe, has taken tires. Peck and Jennings came in on Peck came in on lap 5, Jennings came in on lap 11. Both drivers at most took 2 tires, but I really doubt Eric Peck would have taken tires on his first pit stop only 5 laps in tonight.
Yeah, I can't imagine he would have. There's an interesting battle happening back here.
Yeah, it's the battle for 4th. Jonathan Jennings, Wesley Whitfield, and Doug Soames in the mix here. Whitfield tucking in behind Jennings, just about a quarter of a second back, and a quarter of a second back from him, Doug Soames. Soames looks to be our current hard charger in the bright purple Ford Mustang. He is up 10 positions so far tonight, Gareth.
Yeah, he's got running a very interesting paint job. He's sponsored by Dodge. While he's on a Ford Mustang, that is a very interesting decision there throughout the team. As the Gatorade car looking very, very quick.
Yeah, that's Andrew Pratt sending it in deep in that number 75 Ford Mustang. He is going to try and quickly put a gap on Soames. Soames now only up 9 positions. Looks like he's going to settle for 7th. Now, Pratt was in pit road on lap 11 for a long time. 49 seconds trying to get that Gatorade machine hammered back in place as we are past the halfway mark tonight. Still great racing going on. It's Justin McMahon in the lead. Teddy Wisniewski second. Eric Peck third. Jonathan Jennings runs fourth. Wesley Whitfield will round out the top 5, but we are watching with bated breath to see what Andrew Pratt can do here in the 75.
Yeah, that Mustang is quite beaten up in the back, the rear left and the front right, it looks like a little bit as well. But geez, he's able to make that thing just rocket ship through the field lately. I like the way he's doing the corner. He's kind of staying up high and then really cutting down low, getting as much speed as he can. However, that will wear the tires out if the green flag run keeps going as long as it seems to be doing.
Yeah, we've got about 30 more laps, a little bit shy of that, till the completion of tonight's main event. Now, Gareth, I'm sure we're about to jinx it here, but do you think we can go green for another 29 laps, or are you expecting a little bit more carnage tonight before the Dover gods are satisfied?
I'm expecting Miles to chew a few more cars up, but it's looking pretty damn good so far, so you never really know. These drivers are actually very clean this race so far. Haven't had any real major incident. We've had a few cautions, but nothing too major. So I think we're looking forward to a good, solid green flag run though, for a while.
Yeah, I would say I have to agree with you. Justin McMahon, Teddy Wisniewski, and Peck, the top 3, relatively stretched out. McMahon has over a second gap to Wisniewski, and Wisniewski holding right at a second over, I believe, Eric Peck. So things are going well as we go on board with Wesley Whitfield in the 07 Chevrolet. He's been charging very, very hard. That last time by, though, it looks like he was about 1/10 slower than 4th place Jonathan Jennings. As we know, Whitfield was involved in some early race carnage as he's trying to battle once more with Andrew Pratt. Pratt takes over the 5th place spot in the number 75 machine. I don't know what we're going to see here. I mean, from 4th place back, the field's still pretty tight, but the top 3 drivers really starting to get stretched out here late in the race.
Yeah, I've been thoroughly impressed with Pratt. He seemingly came out of nowhere after getting some damage on that car, and he's just been making his way. I'm very impressed, but I'm worried that the tires might not last, and he might end up spinning it around a bit sooner than he'd like.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. Oh, here's a development. Teddy Wisniewski's going to come down pit road. He will drop down to 4th and quickly with a green flag stop with 25 laps left to go. As Justin McMahon, still your race leader, the number 20. He started on pole. He currently still runs up front, 2.8 seconds. And now McMahon's going to come down pit road.
Well, this is really going to shake up the field now.
So now we've
Peck
got
takes over
Eric
the lead.
Peck taking over the lead. So Peck, the number 61 machine, shows up 11 positions. We believe he took fuel on lap 5, and he currently has about a 3.4 second margin over Jonathan Jennings. Jennings came in a lap 11. Appears he only took fuel. So now the question is, once these drivers cycle out with green flag stops, who's going to have the freshest tires on here? If they take tires now and they have a late race caution where their opponents can take tires, it's going to be a rough night for them. But if we can go green, drivers such as Peck, Jennings, Pratt, your current top 3, are going to be looking pretty good here, all things considered.
Yeah, I actually think it's shaping up to a much more of a strategy race than I predicted. This green flag run is lasting quite a while, and I didn't expect these drivers to really change their strategies up quite a bit. But it seems like a lot of them are running very different strategies, so it should be very interesting to see if we do have a late caution. While their tires will be worse, however, track position is always a major factor, especially on these short ovals. So you never really know what could happen.
Yeah, well said. I'm almost thinking that some of the drivers, after seeing those first early cautions, I believe it was 2 cautions in 15 laps, were maybe thinking this is going to be a short run race, and now that they're finding themselves with this long green flag run, that strategy's suddenly getting changed up, and some of the drivers who gambled heavily on it are doing well. As now Eric Peck's going to come down pit road for his final stop of the night. Andrew Prett also going to come down pit road in the 75 machine. So now it's Jonathan Jennings with his lap 11 pit stop who's going to be getting some laps led here in Dover as we go on forward with Jennings. Doesn't seem like there's much. Oh, look at that! Gareth, Jonathan Jennings is going to come down pit road, and now Wesley Whitfield's going to get some laps led.
Well, they certainly know how to share the points around.
Yeah, very,
There's quite a
very
few different
interesting.
drivers leading.
Now Whitfield came in on lap 5. He had a very long stay on pit road, almost 48 seconds. I want to say that was him getting some repairs done from some of the early race carnage, but could very well be a speeding. I don't think it's a speeding penalty. So I think Whitfield, I mean, surely they can't go that much longer on fuel when the rest of the field's already coming down pit road.
He looks like he's about to make an entry. No? Maybe next time.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see here. Now Whitfield and Simon inside the top 5. They came in on lap 5 for pit stops, while Wilkerson running second, St. Cyr in fourth, and Johnson in fifth. They came in on lap 11 with long pit stops as well, so they may be having a bit of luck with some of that early race carnage we saw, forcing them to get off cycle, get those cars repaired, and get some fuel topped off. And next thing you know, they're in the top 5 here with 17 laps left to go. Oh, here we go. Whitfield comes down pit road. Are we going to see Wilkerson follow? The answer is a resounding no out of the number 78 Chevrolet. He will take over the race lead. So now we wait to see if Christopher Simon, he stays out. What's St. Cyr going to do with the number 16 machine?
Ooh, I like the paint on that one. That car's got a beautiful paint job there.
Yeah, the Black Rifle Company, I believe that is.
As well.
So it seems the strategy so far tonight, Gareth, is lead a lap and come down pit road. Simon's going to follow the number 35 Ford Mustang. St. Cyr stays out after his lap 11 stop. So that means we should expect to see him come in with about 10 laps left to go, barring any cautions. Now, I think what some of these drivers are going to do now is maybe stay out as long as they possibly can. When I say some of these drivers, I mean St. Cyr, as he is one of the few remaining drivers who has not had a late race pit stop. So he's going to hold it out as long as he possibly can. And I would imagine, just hope that caution flag comes out as we see Justin McMahon, number 20 machine, get around the race leader. And there are a whopping 2 drivers on the lead lap at this point.
Yeah, well, they're really gonna try and stretch this out as long as they can. And if they pray for a caution, and if they manage to get one, then that will just feed right into their wheelhouse, as that car is looking quite a bit danged up from St. Cyr, but he's managing to still have quite a quick pace, even though he's got quite the old tires on that machine.
Yeah, he did a 24.26 his last time by. Justin McMahon, number 20 driver, we saw earn his lap back. He had a 23.91. Now the question is, who's going to get back on the lead lap before St. Cyr needs to come down pit road, as he is still hoping desperately for a caution. That'll allow him to come down under yellow flag conditions, throw on a fresh set of Goodyears, and come back out with more than enough fuel to make it all the way to the end. But the question is just how long can he stretch on fuel? I would imagine with about 10 to go on the top left of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, is when we're going to see that number 16 machine come down pit road. I mean, Garrett, do you think anything differently, or what do you think the strategy is going to be out of the number 16 of St. Cyr?
I don't unfortunately see the overlay that you have up there, but I imagine that that he's just going to stay out as long as he can, and I don't know, hopefully he can make it quite a bit longer. I mean, he seems to be he seems to be doing a really good job. He's taking a very high line, which is interesting. I didn't expect to see that. There's not much grip up there, but maybe he's finding that the tires are liking that a bit more, because as you turn the wheel more, and you use more of those tires under cornering conditions, they really heat up and fall away from you. So he might be saving both his fuel and his tires.
Yeah, he's made it to 9 laps left to go. He still has a 20-second advantage over Justin McMahon. Teddy Wisniewski has unlapped himself, number 26 Toyota Camry. So 3 drivers on the lead lap. St. Croix running almost 3/4 of a second slower than McMahon. And here we go. St. Croix is going to come down pit road for the absolute final time tonight.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for him. He was having a really good run. Just couldn't save the amount of fuel he needed to.
So now things are going to be very stretched out. I believe that's going to put St. Croix maybe 1 lap down, judging from the pit times we've seen. Takes about 52 to 53 seconds by the time you cross the entry cones here at Dover to the time you get back out on a hot track. So I think St. Croix is going to go 1 lap down as Justin McMahon, the number 20 Chevrolet, takes over the race lead. He's showing 3.8 seconds ahead of Teddy Wisniewski. Now, are we going to see Teddy? I mean, both drivers came around lap 40, 41, so they're on very similar tire strategies. But the field fairly stretched out this point as we focus on Wisniewski and the number 26 machine.
I'm very surprised by McMahon. His pit crew must have had an absolute flyer on their pit stop there. They've put him out very, very quickly, and he's managed to gain quite a bit of time on the rest of the field.
Yeah, so far so good for the top 3 drivers, keeping it nice and clean. Now, McMahon and Wisniewski running first and second. They've only came down pit road once tonight. Eric Peck came down 2 times, I believe, with some of the early race shenanigans. But right now, Peck, our hard charger, as we move the camera over to that number 61 machine, he's up 9 positions from where he qualified. So looks like Dover being kind to Peck and making his way back out there, having a great run. Now he is about 2 seconds back from Wisniewski, and he's running about a 10th slower, but he's looking pretty secure because he's about 3.4 seconds ahead of Andrew Pratt. Pratt gained about a 1/4 second per lap, but as we get ready to go 4 to go, I think he's looking good to bring home a podium here tonight.
Yeah, barring any accidental issues that we can't foresee, it looks like this race may actually be set in stone. I hope not, because we like to see a much more exciting finish than this one, but I'm sure the drivers would like it to finish a little bit less chaotic.
Yeah, I would agree. Some drivers are going to be happy for a podium. Some drivers are going to be looking for a little bit more time out on track to try and make something happen. As we check back in with Justin McMahon, your race leader of the 20 machine, he's extended his gap to almost 5 seconds. He's got something figured out here with 3 laps left to go using the draft of lap traffic. That's the 07 of Wesley Whitfield, who was a very strong runner out here tonight. But it looks like McMahon looking very comfortable, and he's going to conquer Dover barring any late race issues. Now, if we can take the white flag under racing conditions, we will not go into the overtime green-white checker. So I think McMahon this next time by looking pretty good here. We might be able to wrap this up with only 2 cautions tonight.
It's been an exceptional green flag for all of these drivers tonight. They can be very proud of what they've done.
Yeah, I mean, early on I was expecting a little bit more bar banging and a little bit more crashing around, but these drivers getting it dialed in later in the race. The field starting to stretch out. Justin McMahon getting ready to bring home a win in that number 20 machine. The checkered flag flies for Justin McMahon. A well-deserved win out of that number 20 machine. As we check in on Teddy Wisniewski, he makes his way down. And then it's going to be Eric Peck rounding out the podium in the number 61 machine. Great racing from all of these drivers tonight. So Justin McMahon's going to get ready to celebrate in style as we get ready to bring our top 3 drivers up here into victory lane.
Celebrating in style. Look at those burnouts. Beautiful.
Yeah, not bad. He paid for all the good years. He is going to use all the good years. And as we get ready to bring our top three up in here into victory lane, still waiting on Justin McMahon, Teddy Wisniewski, and Eric Peck to make their way. Looks like we've got Eric Peck, so we're going to get him in the booth with us. Up first, we've got Eric Peck bringing home a third of the number 61 machine. Eric, you got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
Hey Eric, this is Gareth and James up in the booth. How did you think the race went for you tonight?
It went really well. The car was a little on the loose side.
So, Eric, the car was a little loose, and we saw some very differing tire and pit strategies tonight. Were you banking on this to have that long green flag run and green flag stops after we saw those first two cautions fly?
No, honestly, I was not expecting that to happen.
Well, it looked like you guys got it figured out well. Well done out there in the 61.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looked like you had a really, really good run for the most part. And do you reckon those 5 laps of when you came down early on for the 5 laps in and got some extra fuel, do you think that played a role in you coming third at all?
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Well,
All right.
well done out there, Eric. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Great run out there in that number 61 Toyota. Before I let you sign off and celebrate, who would you like to give a shout out to that's cheering you on this season?
Just my teammates at BPS Motorsports and AK Racing.
Awesome. Great time talking to you, Eric. Well done.
Yep, thank you.
That was Eric Peck bringing home the third place spot. Up next, we've got Teddy Wisniewski. Teddy, you got a copy? Mic check for Teddy. Where's Teddy?
I got.
There we go.
Hey Teddy, it's good to see you. It's Gareth and James up in the booth. How you been doing?
Doing all right.
How do you feel after that second place finish? That looked like a very close battle between you and McMahon for a while there. You just couldn't get him in the end. Do you think it had anything to do with coming down pit lane? Because there was quite a bit of a gap that opened up, unfortunately, towards the end there.
No, I think I beat Justin on Tuesday in the trucks by undercutting him by a lot, and I was hoping I'd get him caught in the same thing, but I was never a match for him. He was much better tonight, and I couldn't keep the tires on it for more than 3 laps. I was toast.
Now, Teddy, you guys raced together several times throughout the week. You know who you can trust, who you can push with. Do you think that kind of benefits to some of the cleaner racing, that green flag run we saw, knowing who you can kind of get around with and maybe not find themselves collected into you towards the end of a run?
Yeah, I think, just in general, the more you can race around people, you'll figure out their tendencies one way or another, good or bad. So you always figure out, who you're comfortable with. So yeah, I think the more people race around each other, that definitely helps.
All right, Teddy, all good. Are there anyone you want to thank for your second place finish? Any sponsors, friends, foes?
Just thanks for this broadcast, and thanks to everyone who, puts the league up.
Awesome. Teddy, always a great time talking to you, man. Welcome back up here into Victory Lane, and hope to see you do just as well, or maybe even better next week, my friend.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. And up next, we've got Justin McMahon. Join us in the number 1 spot. Justin, this was the first one of the season, was it not? No, I stand corrected. Justin, I'm sorry, I looked at the wrong name. So, Justin, your third win of the season, the most winningest driver of the season so far. What do you think helped you get up here to Dover tonight in the top spot, despite those early race cautions?
Preserving the tires, I think, and being out front, I think, helped a lot.
It did a really good job of preserving the tires for quite a while there. Do you think it had anything to do with the fact that you seemed very smooth as opposed to some of the other drivers moving up and down a bit of the lanes during the straights and on the corners, but you seemed like you had a very smooth line during the whole thing. Did you practice a while to get that dialed in, or?
Yeah, actually, I practiced quite a bit yesterday, and then I hopped in for a little while tonight. I mean, I honestly think that the key to being that smooth is to be out in front in clean air, and not in traffic. It could have been a lot different. Didn't really have to deal with that a whole lot tonight, thank God. But yeah, I don't know. This has always been one of my favorite tracks to run at, so it was pretty interesting with the new update for the new next gens.
Now, Justin, I'm going to go a little bit off script here. Normally we talk about sponsors at this point, but you talk about the update to the new next-gen Cup cars. Do you think these cars are more lively to drive now, more fun, or what's the driver's point of view with these new updates?
Yeah, I think so. I think once they updated the setups and stuff, they made them a little bit more easier to drive. I think from what they were originally. I'm not saying it puts the car in the driver's hands more. It's a lot more difficult to drive than they were early on. But after they updated the setups a while ago, I mean, it was you couldn't even get on the throttle in the corner, otherwise it would snap loose and come around on you. But it's a lot better now. I'm really happy with the way that they've updated these setups in this car.
Well, it was a lot of fun to watch you guys out there and do battle here at Dover. And Justin, you have the distinct privilege, my friend. You may be a little bit used to it, but who are the friends, family, sponsors that you'd like to give a shout out to tonight that helped to put the number 20 Chevrolet on the top spot at Dover?
Yeah, BMF Detailing. My brother Nick and Kelly, they're watching at home. And the boys in Southern Motorsports for picking me up this season. It's been fun so far. Hope to keep it rolling.
Awesome. Justin, always a great time talking to you, man. We hope to see you back up here in the top spot next week, and congratulations on another well-earned finish.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. And that was Justin McMahon putting the top spot, the number 20 machine. Gareth, we saw 2 early cautions, long green flag race, and how did it go from your point of view, first time calling the Next Gen Series on Thursdays?
I was very entertaining. I thought these guys put on a fantastic show, and I'm eager to see the next one.
Awesome. I as well. Well said. As always, ladies and gentlemen, it was Justin McMahon, Teddy Wisniewski, Eric Peck on the top spot. My name is James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, accompanied by Gareth McAllister. Thank you all so much for tuning in. The Next Gen Cup Thursday Night Series sponsored by Shoney's, and we will see you at the same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everyone.